In our hyper-connected modern society, the default psychological state for most people can be summed up in one word: anxiety. Lying in bed late at night, your brain feels like it's running countless high-load threads simultaneously, completely unable to shut down. Actually, from the underlying logic of human psychology, all our suffering and internal friction stem from the exact same psychological illusion. This illusion is called the illusion of control. We constantly attempt to manipulate things that are fundamentally out of our hands. For instance, polishing an indie product for a month, only to launch it to absolute silence, or eagerly watching the metrics, only for the server to suddenly crash. We try to control user preferences, market trends, our boss's evaluations, or even tomorrow's weather. When you hand over your emotional switch to these external variables, a mental breakdown is only a matter of time. Over 2,000 years ago in ancient Rome, a group of incredibly hardcore thinkers saw right through this psychological trap. They were the Stoics, renowned in Western philosophy for their absolute calmness and extreme rationality. The ultimate psychological defense mechanism of Stoicism is built upon a fundamental iron rule, the dichotomy of control. They ruthlessly divided the world into two circles, the inner circle and the outer circle. The outer circle consists of things you absolutely cannot control: the macroeconomy, platform algorithms, other people's opinions, and even illness or accidents. The inner circle contains only a few things: your beliefs, your judgments, your choices, and how you react to events. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed, not by things, but by the view which they take of them." Imagine you've been coding hard for a week, but merging your branch triggers a massive production incident. The incident happened, and how others will blame me are objective facts stuck in the outer circle. No amount of regret can undo them. But retreating to the inner circle, what you can absolutely control is opening your laptop to debug, or writing an honest post-mortem instead of raging helplessly at the screen. This leads to the Stoics' second, incredibly powerful psychological weapon: building the inner citadel. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius spent his days commanding armies on bloody battlefields, dealing with plagues and imperial betrayals. Yet at night in his tent, he wrote in his meditations, "Amidst the raging storm outside, my mind should be a tranquil island." When you truly establish this inner citadel, you gain a godlike experience, akin to a third-person perspective. You observe yourself experiencing failure, misunderstanding, and rejection, as if watching an NPC in a video game. You can feel the pain, but you never identify that suffering as yourself. You completely detach your ego from the emotional quagmire. Furthermore, Stoicism has an ultimate, counterintuitive training method: negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. Ordinary people always fantasize about the best outcomes, so when an accident occurs, it feels like the sky is falling. A Stoic, however, repeatedly pre-simulates the worst-case scenarios in their mind: bankruptcy, betrayal, or total product failure. When you have died 10,000 times in your mind and simulated every desperate situation in your sandbox, you'll realize that anything happening in reality is just an expected cutscene in the script. Fear is completely killed in that very moment.
This is the highest spiritual state of Stoicism.
Amor Fati, or a love of fate. It's not just about silently enduring the beatings of fate, but about loving and utilizing every setback. Just like a blazing fire, the more obstacles you throw into it, the fiercer it burns. Admitting our powerlessness over the world isn't pessimism. It's the highest level of wisdom humanity can grasp. Because only when you completely surrender your desire to control the external world, can you truly reclaim absolute sovereignty over your own inner self.